Hello and welcome to SGPN's Daily Dog. I'm your host, Britton Hess. I'm here with my favorite Underdog Fantasy Pick 'em Plays for Thursday, June 5th, 2025. If you're new to Underdog Fantasy, sign up with the promo code DailyDog. That's DAILYDOG at UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app. Get a 50% deposit code worth, or a 50% deposit match worth up to $1,000. Again, that's promo code DailyDog, one word, on UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app for 50% deposit match bonus worth up to $1,000. All right, yesterday we hit some stuff. We missed some stuff. We had some entries get refunded, but we did hit with one of our pitchers' entries, which was Freeland and Quantrill higher than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. And then that was Quantrill allowing that one. And then we had Matthew Boyd and Mackenzie Gore lower than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. That was nice. We also hit on, you know what? Actually, we hit on one of our NHL entries yesterday. We hit with Draisaitl goal and Reinhart higher than 3.5 or higher than 2.5 shots on goal, 3.33x. That one was nice. Man, the other NHL entry was kind of annoying because we had McDavid lower than 1.5 points and Marchand higher than 0.5 points. Marchand obviously got a goal very early for the Panthers, and Connor McDavid had an assist on the last two goals of the game, including the overtime winner. So that was a little bit frustrating that he got there at the end. But, it is what it is, and we've got plenty to get to today. Also, I'm going to talk a little bit about the extender promo that Underdog is running later on in the show. We got an entry for the extender promo. But before that, let's start getting to our bread and butter. Let's get into some of these MLB entries. So MLB entry number one, Pete Crow-Armstrong, higher than 1.5 total bases against Jake Irvin in the Nationals. I don't think Jake Irvin is very good. I think Pete Crow-Armstrong has star potential in this league. He's not necessarily there yet, but he's hitting home runs. He's running the bases well, making good contact. I think the Cubs offense has been a little bit lackluster the last couple of days, especially yesterday where they didn't score a run. I think that Tucker could be back in the lineup here. If he is, that obviously is a huge uplift to this offense. And I think Pete Crow-Armstrong is a guy that's going to hit a double in this game or a home run. So give me Pete Crow-Armstrong higher than 1.5 total bases against Irvin, because again, not afraid of Irvin. And also the hitting condition should be very, very good in DC. Then I'm going to go with Jonathan India higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. He was part of an entry that got refunded yesterday because that game between the Cardinals and the Royals got rained out. But we're going to go back here with Jonathan India higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs in game one of this doubleheader. This one with Miles Mikolas pitching for the Cardinals. I like the matchup between India and Mikolas. These guys have seen each other before. India has actually hit home runs off this guy before. He's actually hit 3 of them. He's hit 3 in 25 at-bats. He's got a double against him. He's got some singles, so he's batting .320 in this matchup. I really like Jonathan India, higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs in game one of this doubleheader for the Royals and the Cardinals. Crow-Armstrong, higher than 1.5 total bases. India, higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, 3.21x multiplier. I bet that one's going to go down by the time these games have their first pitch, but we will have to wait and see on that. Then MLB entry number 2, Ronald Acuna Jr., higher than 1.5 total bases. Acuna is getting there. He's not there, but he's getting there. That's what I will say. He's not on pace for a 40-40 season, like he did back in the day, which was, amazing until Shohei Ohtani had his was like a 40-70, and then Shohei had like 50-50. They're both good in different ways. But Ronald Acuna Jr. in this matchup, obviously at a slow start of the season due to injury. But I think that, again, he's got a good shot at getting this thing done. 2 games ago, he had 2 hits, so higher than 1.5 total bases there. And then I'm going to take Yandy Diaz higher than 6.5 fantasy points against Jack Leiter and the Rangers. The Rangers pitching staff, not my favorite. I think Yandy Diaz is very, very good, and I think that he's got guys in front of him that get on base and guys that are behind him that can also drive him home. So a good chance to get a lot of fantasy points here for Yandy Diaz. So Ronald Acuna Jr. higher than 1.5 total bases, Yandy Diaz higher than 6.5 fantasy points, 3x multiplier. MLB entry number 3. We are going to go with Paul Goldschmidt, higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. It's going to be great hitting weather in Yankee Stadium or on the Yankees later in the show. But I think Goldie is going to have a good performance here. Give me Goldschmidt higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. And then I'm going to take Jeremy Pena higher than 1.5 total bases against the Pirates and Mitch Keller. Mitch Keller's not been terrible this year. His record's terrible, 1-7, but 3.73 ERA. He's not gotten great run support. But that doesn't mean he doesn't allow hits. And I think Jeremy Pena is primed to have a double or a couple singles in this game. 2.81x multiplier on those 2 guys. MLB entry number 4, Jose Ramirez, higher than 1.5 total bases. I told you good hitting weather in the Yankee Stadium. I think I'm going to go with the professional hitter himself, Jose Ramirez, the big switch hitter who is just a menace at the plate. Give me higher than 1.5 total bases with Jose Ramirez. How could you not love doing that with this guy? Then I'm going to go with Wyatt Langford, higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs against Brian Pepio and the Rays. I don't think Pepio is very good. I think Wyatt Langford is awesome. He had a couple hits yesterday, had a good day. Give me him higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. 3.36x. That's crazy value. 3.36x with Ramirez and Langford. You're getting the bonus on the bonus juice on Ramirez because he's facing off against Max Fried, who was awesome until his last game against the Dodgers. We'll see if he's hit a wall, or we'll see if he gets back to where he wants to be. But even if he has a good game, that doesn't mean Jose Ramirez isn't going to get his 1.5 total bases, because this guy can hit anybody. Let's get to the pitchers' entries here. Pitchers number 1, Slade, Cecconi, and Max Fried, higher than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. It basically comes down to the hitting weather and the fact that Slade, Cecconi is probably going to give up a home run in the first inning, if I were to guess. Then I'm going to pair that with Framber, Valdez, and Mitch Keller, lower than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. Again, just two offenses that I don't have any faith in. So 2.51x on that one. Pitchers entry number 2, Brandon Pfaadt and Grant Holmes, higher than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. Again, I think home run in the first inning is on its way in this matchup. I think Pfaadt's a little bit overrated. He's kind of pitched pretty well this year, but I don't believe it's going to be consistent. And then Grant Holmes, on the other hand, I think that guys like Eugenio Suarez, and if he gets a bat in the first inning, he's in trouble. He's probably going to go yard in this game. More on that later. Pairing this one with Zach Eflin and Brian Wu, lower than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. Just two offenses that are very inconsistent and two pitchers that can actually shut guys down. Eflin, not a star. Brian Wu, really good stuff, though. Eflin, though, just give me 3 outs, buddy, against this Mariners lineup that loves to strike out. 3x multiplier on that one. All right, I told you that there's some bonuses available for existing members. I'm going to talk a little bit about the extender here that is going on for Underdog, this playoff promo, or now it's the NBA Finals promo. But the longer the series, the bigger the boost is the long and short of it. But I'll give you the quick rundown here. Underdog just dropped their playoff basketball promo with the extender. You can play your way to increasingly bigger boosts each round of the playoffs. Start a playoff series by using your game 1 boost and continue boosting each subsequent game to unlock the next one. The longer the series, the bigger the boost. You're going to want to see how serious it gets when the game 7 hits. Hop on Underdog, the best place to make picks during playoff basketball, and get started right now. And not only playoff basketball, NBA Finals basketball, we're getting the extender. So that means we're getting a 40% profit boost right now on Underdog for game 1 of the finals. So let's start off right now with a playoff boost for game 1 here in the NBA Finals. And we get really good value on this one. 40% boost. And again, even if this doesn't hit, we still get a 50% boost in game 2. So in game 1, Pascal Siakam higher than 19.5 points. Jalen Williams higher than 1.5 3-pointers made. That would be a 2.67x multiplier. Nothing to get excited about. But with a 40% boost, it's 3.33x. Jalen Williams is like a 0.83x multiplier. So we're getting a 3.33x with Siakam on a flat multiplier and Williams on a reduced multiplier. That's the power of the 40% boost, and I can't wait to use the 50% boost in the next game. So that is number 1. Obviously, you know that I put in an NBA entry yesterday. I did not use the extender on that one, but that's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander lower than 33.5 points in game 1. Tyrese Halliburton higher than 17.5 points also in game 1. That's a 3.12x multiplier. I also got to remind you that I have my series entry in with Pascal Siakam higher than 19.5 points per game. It's now 19.8 points per game, which it's a little bit hairy. But I think anything below 20 you can still play. So it's still marginal, but it's marginal, but you can still play it if you have not put this one in yet. And then I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to average lower than 33.5 points per game in the NBA Finals. That was a 3x multiplier. And again, if you listen to the show the last couple of days, you know that Siakam, you got 0.4 points of value on him there. But all right, let's get to our Lotto entries because these also involve game 1 of the NBA Finals. Lotto entry number 1, Tyrese Halliburton higher than 3.5 3-pointers made. Freddie Freeman higher than 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Seiya Suzuki higher than 2.5 total bases. 16.53x multiplier or 8.26x/2.35x flex. I recommend flexing it. You get that 8.26x if it goes 3 for 3 and 2.35x if it goes 2 out of 3. Lotto entry number 2, Chet Holmgren higher than 2.5. Chet Holmgren higher than 2.5 blocks. He had 3 blocks in his last 2 games of the last series. Let's keep it up. Michael Busch higher than 2.5 total bases. This man can hit triples. Cody Bellinger higher than 2.5 total bases. This guy can also take advantage of the good hitting weather at Yankee Stadium. 16.5 or no, this one's 19.53x if you flex it, 9.76x if it goes 3 for 3, 2.43x if it goes 2 out of 3. Dong squad number 1, Aaron Judge higher than 0.5 home runs. Seiya Suzuki higher than 0.5 home runs. You know I'm all over Seiya today. Cody Bellinger, Kyle Schwarber higher than 0.5 home runs. 40.67x, flex it, 20.33x, or 5.05x if it goes 2 out of 3. We got to get hot on the Dong squad. It's been a little bit cold this week, so let's heat it up on the Dong squad. Dong squad number 2, Eugenio Suarez higher than 0.5 home runs. He's only got 3 home runs and 4 plate appearances in this matchup against Grant Holmes. So let's go Suarez higher than 0.5 home runs. Francisco Lindor against Logan Knack and the Dodgers higher than 0.5 home runs. And Paul Goldschmidt, another Yankee, higher than 0.5 home runs against Slade, Cecconi, and the Guardians. 72.72x if it goes 3 for 3. I recommend flexing it. 36.36x if it goes 3 for 3 on the flex. 6.8x if it goes 2 out of 3. All right, that's all I got for you today. Good luck on your picks. Let's get these NBA finals going and let's make some money.